What's up, guys? Mason the Brock Henderson here. This is Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Season 3, Episode 16, Paradise Lost. This is a good episode. Nothing special, nothing that made me go, oh my gosh, but a lot of good stuff. It's one of those storylines that I could follow, that I could kind of see coming, but they did it in such a way that if it didn't happen like that, I would have been like, okay. The best way I can describe it is that it was good. It was being a good, predictable situation. There are moments whenever you're looking at it, you're watching the story progress, and you think to yourself, okay, I think I see where this is going, and if they do it this way, it's going to be awesome. And that's exactly what happened here. Because you've got Malik really freaked out for the first time that we've seen him. He's actually scared now, which is fun to watch because he's just a despicable person. But he's freaking out because when the guy touched him in the last episode, he saw the future of his death. And he could feel it all, he could see it coming, and he knew that Ward was going to be his killer. Well, I still got to think of a good name to call him, because it's not Ward anymore. Ward is dead. This is an Inhuman. I'm going to call him Ward Human. No. I'll think of something. For now, I'm just going to call him Ward, though. So whenever I say Ward, know that I'm talking about this Inhuman possessing Ward's body. So anyway, he sees this coming, so he's freaking out most of the episode. Ward shows up at his house, and his daughter's like, oh, you didn't tell me he was such a looker, and I can't believe he's actually here. And he's like, what? He's here? Yeah, he's calling together all the members of the circle, and he's like freaking out. He's like, oh crap, he's gonna kill me as an example. But then we start seeing some of his backstory. We start to see a bit of him and his brother when they were younger. Whitehall invited them to his jail cell and told them this story about their father, about how he was a coward. Told them about this rock that they all drew rocks, and there was one that was niched that their father knew was the white rock, so he knew not to grab it. And so as soon as we found that out, and as soon as they go to the pond and Gideon tosses it in, I'm like, no, he didn't toss it in. And then on top of that, I was like, you know what? I see where this is going. His brother's going to get picked. And so that's the secret that he's hiding. That's why he's so freaked out. That's why he thinks that Ward is going to kill him, as an example. What I did not see coming, and was a nice little twist, is the fact that because his parasite possesses the bodies and keeps the memories of those bodies as well, Gideon's brother was one of those bodies. So he still has the memories of Nathan Malik. And so at the very end, whenever he's talking to him, he's just like, what happened, brother? I thought we were together until the end. Like, just as Nathan, I'm just like, that's got to be freaky. To see, you're talking to this guy who is not your brother, but he's talking just like your brother, and he's got the memories of your brother. That's got to be freaky. I would hate for that to happen. But yeah, it was very well done. A nice little twist at the end to have, the parasite actually retain those memories, so he could kind of torture him a little bit. And then the interesting thing at the end, which I didn't really see coming, was that Ward ends up killing the daughter. I honestly thought the way he was befriending the daughter and kind of, you have a grand purpose, I thought that he was going to kill Gideon, and she was actually going to be the one to do it, or something like that. She was going to become Ward's right-hand man. The one human that was going to help him, because we find out from this one guy that Daisy and Lincoln go visit, we find out from him that the Inhumans teamed up with humans to have to take down, this Inhuman possessing Ward. So I thought maybe he was going to start gathering together a group of humans to help him, so that way he couldn't be stopped again the same way. But as it turns out, her grand purpose was to show Gideon what it's like to really lose something, to have to sacrifice something. The thing is, though, Gideon really could have been seeing her death. but the way they showed it, it showed him dying. You know, like I don't know, because he talked about that feeling, that he described that feeling of the insides being ripped out of him and being shredded apart, which is obviously what happened to her. But the question is, did he really see her death, or did he still see his, and he's going to die anyway later on in the same exact way? You know, that a lot of questions there. And honestly, we still don't really understand that Inhuman's power, what he was able to do. We don't understand it completely. So it's kind of interesting to see going forward, will Gideon actually be killed in the same way, or was he really seeing his daughter's death? So anyway, that was an interesting story. Having it inside the book Paradise Lost just kind of named the title. I don't know. It seemed like they were trying to be like, oh, Paradise Lost. It's kind of got a little bit of a meaning to it as well, but I don't know. It didn't translate as well as I think they were hoping it would, for me at least. Anyway, on the other side, you've got, like I said, Daisy and Lincoln go visit this guy who apparently got kicked out of Afterlife because he was really crazy. Which they find out, you know, Lincoln says, well, he wasn't as crazy as I thought he was, because obviously this Inhuman that he's talking about exists. But I like in the end, they end up getting the information from him, but they don't give him the crystal to change. I like that because of Lincoln's reasoning. He says, you know, Jiang was right about some things. Not everybody deserves to have powers. And this is one guy that definitely does not deserve to have powers. Like, you could just tell by looking at him, he was going to use them for his own gain. And I think to Jiang's one, to her credit, her one credit, I really do think she did see whether or not somebody would use their powers for the wrong reasons. I do think that she saw that in people. And so when it came to this guy, she saw something a bit wrong with him. So I agree with Lincoln not to give him the... I like how they, you know, how quick they did it. And on top of that, the guy ends up revealing that Lincoln has a bit of a backstory behind it. It feels like this may come back later, but I don't know. At the same time, he talks about the void that he couldn't fill in his life, and so how he tried to fill it with vodka and with his anger. The void's been filled now because he has his powers, but at the same time, we've seen him lose control of those powers. So I wonder if it's just something deep down inside of him that he can't control that anger, he can't control that rage. I wonder if that's going to come back to haunt him. It might. But, you know, it's kind of setting up a little bit of a story there. So that's interesting to watch. Also going on, the rest of S.H.I.E.L.D. is tracking down Mr. I can't remember how to say his name now. Giara? I think that's how you say it. The guy that can move stuff with his mind. They track him down, find out what he's doing for Malik and Hydra. They go in, they trap him into this one room where there's nothing that he can use, and trap him in there with May, which I'm just like, yes, we get to see them fight. Let them fight. And so they start fighting. You know, they're pretty equally matched, but then May goes for the cheap shot right into Nard's. Takes him down, and then they trap him inside the room, which I don't know how he did it, but somehow he managed to get the belt buckle inside. Like, we saw it being lifted up, as well as like this little iPad looking thing whenever he started to wake up, but we never saw him actually move the belt buckle. But somehow he managed to get it inside the room, used it to pry the doors open, escaped, and then brought the plane down to wherever they were going, and I guess, you know, is now escaping from the plane, or maybe has captured them. I don't know. So it feels like he may have planned this just a little bit. Maybe not quite as much as he thought he did, but it does feel like this was part of his plan to try to capture them and, you know, keep them all in one place where he wants them. And of course that leads to Daisy and Lincoln are the only two outside, and Lincoln's like, no, we're not the only two, and then talks about the Inhumans that they have they've been working with as part of a team. So yeah, it's kind of exciting to see they finally get the team together. They get the Inhumans team and go to take on other Inhumans. It'll be fun to watch. The scary part about that is that Ward Inhuman, whatever it is, apparently has the ability to control Inhumans. So I'm a little bit worried that maybe some of the Inhumans on S.H.I.E.L.D's side will end up being like mind controlled, or maybe scared into submission by Ward and what he can do. I don't know. I still don't know how that works with him. Like he just sort of was in front of the Inhumans, and the next thing you know, they're obeying his every order. It's like, how does he do that? I want to see more about that. But yeah, overall, just really good episode. Some intense moments, some fun moments. A little bit of reflection on Coulson's part as well, because he's starting to see kind of the direct consequence of what he did to Ward. The fact that he just killed him in cold blood. And on top of that, something that we've all sort of known, but this is the first time they've actually said it, is that by killing Ward, he let Ward win. He let Ward get into his mind to the point where he just became a murderer. Killed a man who was defenseless. And on top of that, because he killed him, this parasite took over his body, which means now it's come back to haunt him, literally, which is something he makes a joke about. He's like, I always knew this was going to come back to haunt me. I didn't actually think this was going to come back to haunt me, though. So it is kind of interesting. Coulson sort of reflecting upon himself, reflecting upon who he is as a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent. The fact that he did cross a line is sort of getting to him. But yeah, a lot of stuff going on Hydra's side, on S.H.I.E.L.D.'s side. I don't know where it's going next. Still leading up into Civil War at some point, next couple weeks. So yeah, a lot of stuff to deal with, and I'm excited. I'm really excited. Like it's been pumping me up week after week. I'm just like, what's gonna happen next? And of course, this is all leading up to we're gonna lose a member of S.H.I.E.L.D. Like I said before, it could just be Yo-Yo, because we do see her little cross necklace inside the ship that blows up. But it could be somebody else besides her. It could be somebody else inside that ship as well. So I don't know. This show, or Marvel in general, is not exactly known for killing off main characters. And if they do, they always find some way to bring them back. Of course, as I'm watching Flash and the Arrow, I've realized that DC is just as bad about doing that, but Marvel's not exactly done, I wouldn't say a great job, but they haven't exactly taken that step yet. They haven't gone and, losing Trip was kind of emotional, but then again, he did come in halfway through season 1. We didn't know him throughout the entire first season, and so we're halfway through season 2, and he's a part of the team, but we're still kind of getting to know him just a little bit, and then he gets killed off. It's like, yeah, he's a member of the team, but he wasn't a main member. He wasn't one of the original 6. Killing off Ward, I thought, was a bold move, and then they still bring him back with this Inhuman. Like he didn't really die. So will it be one of the original 6 that dies? Will it be one of like Mac or Lincoln or one of those other Inhumans that we met? Who knows? But it's still exciting to think about and kind of theorize what it's going to be. So anyway, that's my opinion. What are yours? Let me know down in the comments below. Did you like or dislike this episode, or some theories about who's in the spaceship that explodes? And what are your theories on, I guess, Ward and his plans going forward? Leave a like and subscribe for more Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I will see you at the next review. Peace out.